our analytics dashboard. Yeah, what this does is allows for either managers or, I mean, really, oftentimes it is business owners that are looking for access to this type of data on their organization. So if you think about it, if you're using, an HRIS system, we are able to pull in all of the information on all of your employees from every single part of the system, right? So we can tell what your turnover looks like. We can tell your demographic makeup of your organization. So obviously that's very big right now, needing to measure, but labor costs. I mean, we can drill into your overtime trends, even what managers are approving more overtime. Maybe you need to have a conversation with a specific manager, what division has more overtime. And then what we were just talking about, in terms of employees talking and risk of employees leaving, our retention risk dashboard is probably one of my favorite things. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing here. What this is doing is actually aggregating data from all throughout the system. So the performance reviews, their compensation model. It can even tell if they're looking at other jobs online so that they may be at risk to leave. Yeah, so essentially what this is doing is giving you an alert that maybe one of your best employees might be at risk for leaving, and it may be an opportunity to have a conversation with that employee. So I'll kind of drill down into what the risk factors actually are that it's pulling. So these are all risk factors that we got from SHRM in terms of what would, make an employee potentially leave the organization. So, they've had a compensation raise, they haven't had one in 3 years, and their coworker has one every single merit cycle, and they talk about it, but they've gotten 5 stars on their reviews and they haven't gotten a merit increase, or their manager has changed 10 times since they've been hired. Things like that can really affect how happy the employee is. Can even tell how far that they're driving to work, their quality of life, like their distance to work, how much overtime they're working. So lots and lots of data points.
That is super valuable. I mean, when we talk about employee retention, from the predictive index side, we talk about the 4 different dysfunctions that drive people to look beyond their current job. But this gives you some actionable data. I love it. This is pretty powerful stuff right here. In my history experience quite a bit, where the person running the organization has to go to somebody in a department and ask for them to pull reports or to pull things together and give them to them. And there's a delay to that, right? And sometimes they may not even get the information at all. With this type of platform, you as the business owner can go in, you can have that data readily available at your fingertips.
Yeah, exactly. Right in those dashboards, and even from a reporting standpoint. And you don't have to ask someone for the report. You can get the report yourself. You can edit the report within the system, just a simple drag and drop editor. So my clients love the reporting functionality as well.
And that piece on the employee retention, to have that visible in front of you versus a gut feel of a manager of who's looking or who's maybe not happy. That's extremely powerful because, I always talk to, clients about, obviously, who your A players are, who your B players are, C and D. You may have taken the time to map them out. This already has done that for you. Okay, so that's done. That's out of the way. You know who your A players are. You want to keep your A's. You want to groom your B's and C's. And obviously, if people are down at the bottom end, you can make some decisions to deal with that, because eventually you want to move everybody up to that higher level if you can. And this is an actionable piece to do that. I love it.
Yeah, you can even do succession planning within the platform. Yeah.
That's an underrated tool as well. I think a lot of people out there, if you say the 2 word succession planning, you'll probably get a different answer from every person you ask out there right now. There's very few people I see that are aligned on what it really means. And, back to the employees starting on day 1, when they come in your organization, if you're able to give somebody a very clear path of what it takes.
They're going to stay there more long-term if they can actually visualize their future at the organization.
And we see that in machine shops predominantly, in manufacturing. That has been shown to be one of the clear factors for retaining talent in the machine shop.
They know where they're going. They know what the next step is. They have goals that they're trying to achieve to get there.
Somebody's really good at running a certain machine. Your Haas over there, that's a problem to run. You got one guy who runs it really well. What happens? Well, that guy gets pigeonholed, or that person gets pigeonholed, and they end up staying there, and they're out on the floor for years and years. And yeah, they may get lots of overtime, but eventually the dollars kind of wear off as the motivation, right? Especially with this younger generation coming. You might have some kids that are really, really good at picking up the technical side of it and programming and stuff. And you want to retain those kids, right? Or those people. So you bring them in. If you give them a very, very clear path for how to get to that next level, they're more apt to stay. And we see that. It's we haven't captured it data wise, but I've talked to enough machine shop owners and people who work in the machine shop industry. We can tell you who's doing succession planning, who's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think about my own experience at Paylocity. I mean, I basically came here as my very first job, real world job out of college. But they told me from day one, here's your path, here's what you have to do to get to the next step. And I was like, all right, I'm never going to leave. And I still feel that way. So yeah, it really does work.
Excellent. You guys are using your own tools. That's I love that. You got to be your own best customer in that regard. So
yeah, we say drinking our own wine. That's what we call it.
Drinking your own wine, drink your own Kool-Aid. I like those terms.
We make Paylocity wine, so I do give my clients Paylocity wine too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Additional links discussed can be found in the comments section below on YouTube. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you found the information useful. OpsQC Inc. podcast, sponsored by Paylocity.